And we kick things off with the big story unfolding in Braamfontein. The Constitutional Court, under the leadership of Chief Justice Mandisa Maya, is today hosting a ceremony to mark 30 years since the doors of the institution were first opened back in 1995. The ConCourt is the final arbiter in determining whether a matter is a constitutional matter or is connected with a decision on a constitutional issue. President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to deliver the keynote address at that commemorative event in the next hour. But watching that build-up for us, part of our SABC News team is our reporter, Canny Maphanga, who's live to us now from Braamfontein. And Canny, of course, part of what is taking place as we place the significance of this event is a reflection on the many seminal judgments over the years that have come from that court.
Indeed. Good morning to you, Ayanda, and to the viewers at home. It continues to be a hive of activity here at the Constitutional Court in Braamfontein as we celebrate this milestone of 30 years since the establishment of the Constitutional Court. Now, I do have with me the retired Deputy Chief Justice, that is retired Deputy Chief Justice Dikgang Moseneke, who played a critical role in the formation of this institution, watching it grow to what it is today, of course described as a towering intellect on the Constitutional Court bench, giving us a lot of those amazing judgments, including the Glenister judgment, which is where the court held that the state is constitutionally obligated to establish and maintain an independent agency to combat corruption. And we were joking earlier before this interview that there is a photo depicting Justice Moseneke, his journey starting in 2002, then of course when he became Deputy Chief Justice in 2005 and served with distinction until 2016. But to elaborate further on this amazing occasion and a significant milestone, and you're still here to celebrate it with the Constitutional Court, is the retired Deputy Chief Justice with me now. I'm sure it's quite overwhelming to be back at this institution 30 years later, and after playing such a critical role in its establishment and of course some of the landmark judgments it has delivered. And when you look fondly on this picture and your fellow colleagues, some we've lost along the way, how do you reflect on this significant milestone?
Overwhelming must be the word. I worked so long here, 15 years, but then this was as a result of a new constitution that meant to create a new society, and to do that we needed new vessels, new tools, and we needed a court that would police all those high ideals that our people deserve and that we took time to write very carefully. And it was a total privilege, ultimately, to be appointed to come and be one of the guardians of the high values of our people. And as I look, many of the colleagues in the founding 11, who I call the Magnificent 11, the first judges, many of them have passed on. And a few of us are still lucky. Justice Albie Sachs, Justice Cato Reagan, Justice Sandy Lengobo, of those initial justices who are still around. But many have passed on after great work that they did for country and all our people. So we're here to acknowledge that and to recognize that from the time Mr. Mandela saw all of them in 30 years ago, today, the institution is here. And most of our people in our country still hold hope that they could come out here and find justice.
Now, we know the important work of the Constitutional Court takes place in an overall justice system that, if we reflect today, is experiencing a number of challenges in dispensing those rights which the Constitution seeks to uphold and preserve. We have seen a lot of attention given towards that particular institution, that is the National Prosecuting Authority. You've seen that your colleague, the retired Justice Kambempe, will have to chair this inquiry that will look into possible question of political interferences in the NPA. Now, we know you have a history as an activist first before joining the bench. You're familiar with the territory, or rather the terrain of the NPA after the transition into the constitutional democratic order, and of course a lot of families seeking answers as to what happened during those dark days. Do you think this inquiry is necessary, and what are your thoughts following the appointment of Justice Khampepe and ensuring that this process is well underway so that these families can get that type of justice, restorative justice at least, that they are hoping for?
Yes, I mean, firstly, the inquiry is in the hands of a wonderful colleague of mine who I admire most, who served very well. I served with her together. We should be in constant pursuit of justice. Where it has never happened in the past, it is absolutely appropriate and in order that we seek to have it served, even many, many years later. So that is quite in order. The transition was hurried, it was fast. We've missed a lot of things in the ideals that we wanted to achieve. And for instance, we did not prosecute at the time when we had to prosecute. But it's something that you always do. You know, in law and in notions of justice, we talk about equilibrium. When rights and lives are smashed, one way to try and bring them back is to find justice, is to find a way of finding fairness again and acknowledging past wrath, past invasion. So yes, Justice Khampepe will do a good job, and I know that she will do it, and the nation is entitled to know. Why were there no prosecutions if they were so indicated at the time?
We know, Justice Museneke, that a lot of those alleged perpetrators have since passed on. So a lot of the criticism is that the opportunity is lost as it existed decades ago for this to take place. And of course, is there any merit to this allegation of political interference which hindered those particular cases from being investigated by the NPA at the time?
Well, the inquiry is about that. And I'm not going to pronounce on whether there's any merit and whether there was actual interference. But what I'm saying is we have to go and find out. It's never too late to go and say what happened. And where there have been grievance, there's been egregious conduct against people in the past or now. Absent amnesty, there ought to be justice. So I'm quite welcoming of the fact that one of my esteemed colleagues will go and look and will pronounce on whether there was improper interference or not.
And then lastly, speaking on this great institution that is the Constitutional Court, we have seen that in the previous term of your colleague, retired Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, he did bring back the practice of bringing academics and professors into this particular court to, I guess, boost that the candidates coming in order to have enough permanent judges on this quite prestigious bench. We've seen that there has been difficulty in attracting candidates and filling those permanent appointments in the Constitutional Court. How does an institution of such a level in South Africa not have significant candidates to come in and present themselves and avail themselves to serve on this special bench?
Yes, we have to rededicate ourselves to the idea of public duty. Think about it carefully. All those people who became judges on this court, whether it's Justice Yakub, whether it's Justice Pius Langa, may he rest in peace, or Justice Chaskelson, may he too rest in peace. All of them gave up what they were doing. I gave up what I was doing and came to do public duty. So I would like, we continue to urge people to forswear the comforts that they might have to come and serve in an institution like this. And that's why we are here, to emphasize its importance and its centrality in protecting the most, particularly the most vulnerable in our society. It's a great institution. It can be made even greater. And I hope it lives long beyond the 30 years.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution this morning. That is retired Deputy Chief Justice Musaneke.
Last time I said you owe me chocolates and it appeared on TV, huh?
Absolutely. Sharing his thoughts regarding the milestone that is being celebrated today. That is 30 years since the establishment of the Constitutional Court, of course reflecting on the current developments, which will see an inquiry into the National Prosecuting Authority on these allegations of political interference with respect to those apartheid-era crimes, saying that justice delayed isn't justice denied. So, of course, we will be giving you the visuals of this particular significant event at 10 a.m. as it begins this morning, where we expect the President will be delivering the keynote address. Over to you in studio.
All right, Canny Maphanga, part of our team, live to us there from Braamfontein. That's where, of course, the Constitutional Court is sitting, the institution marking 30 years of its existence. For now, Canny, thanks very much indeed.